everyone, so it's Skulls the Wolf here, and today is going to be just a small tutorial, I can't speak, sorry, video on small details of how to do a fleece nose, lining the mouth, teeth and tongue, so just the, little details on Sue's. Now this base is not fully done yet, he needs wider cheeks, as you can tell it's still a bit thin, even though I've done so many layers, and he needs ears. So that will happen a little bit today while I'm doing all this. But I think first the one thing I'm going to show you is his nose. So what you'll need is obviously foam, and you'll carve out the shape you want the nose. So this guy's a canine, so it's, like a rounded triangle in a way. And this person wanted a really toony suit, so she wanted a big nose. So these are bigger noses than I normally do. So for this size nose, the fleece will actually need sewing. Where on the other hand, like that one I've got up there, they've got a flat nose, so that is just fleece gluing over the nose. But, because this one's big, you're going to need to pattern this one and then sew this one around here and maybe down here because of it being such a big nose. So, you can get masking tape, duct tape, any tape, but if it's duct tape, I would go around it in cling film so it doesn't rip the foam off. But I'll be back with some tape now that you have your tape all covered up, So I've done some masking tape and some parcel tape because I actually ran out of masking tape for the nose. You'll draw your pattern on. So you, will have a pen and you should draw this way and then possibly a little darting line down this way, and that just helps with the effect of the nose as well. This is what it should roughly look like with the lines on. And then next you'll cut along the lines and trace it on to decide fleece colour that your nose will be. So for this character they have a white nose and white tongue. So I'll come to that in a minute. Now that you have a piece cut, lay it backwards, so not the tapey side down this way, because if you lay it the other way, it flips the pattern on the head and you don't want that. So if you lay it this way, then trace around it. But when you trace around it, leave a centimetre or a little bit less of sewing, and so that it goes back here slightly so that the fur blends over nicely so you won't have, a gap showing. Then after you've traced it and cut it out, pin it on the nose so you can see roughly what it looks like. And there will be some wrinkles, but they should go once you've sewn it all together. But if they are slightly there, you can either trim or when you glue, just, very gently stretch it out. So what you're going to do now is sew along this line and sew the bottom line here. And also, when you come to sewing, try sew with the colour of the fleece you can. If it's black fleece, doesn't matter too much, but because this is white, I don't want the fleece showing, so I'm going to be using white thread. So for the stitch I am using, as I got white thread here, so I'm using a blanket stitch. So, with a blanket stitch, you grab your two ends, put the thread through, and then you loop the thread through the hole, pull it tight, and that's a blanket stitch. So you just go around the suit or the seam that you're normally doing, making sure not to leave any big gaps you think, will be visible. And if you have done a big gap, just go back and sew over it. So you do that around the entire piece. Oops. Just like that. Now once you have sewn neatly around the edge and around the bottom, you can take the nose off and flip it inside out. So this is hard to do with one hand, but I'll try, and then gently place it back on. Obviously it's probably not going to look super neat because I'm only doing this with one hand right now. Ugh. But it's not too bad. So once you've got it back on, it'll be a bit loose, obviously, because it's not glued down, but as you can see, you've got your sewing line down there. And then it's time for the gluing stage, which would be just around the nose. But when you're doing it, obviously pull the fleece back so there's no wrinkles. So I'll show you how to do the first bit up here. So when it comes to nose, you want a squishy nose. So you only glue around the edge. So I've pulled this back slightly, and you have your hot glue gun, which mine is doing that. Then gently put a line down the back. Put your glue gun down. Glue it. Obviously make sure to stretch the fleece. If you don't want any seams, press it down, hold it slightly, And then that bit is glue, and you just got to do that to the rest of the nose, gluing all the edges down. Ow! I burnt myself. Until it's all neat. Now they've got all the edges glued down, you should have a nose like this that is still, you know, soft and squidgy with no glue. These leftover pieces here you can trim away or you can glue down, it's up to you, because they'll be covered by fur anyway. But there's, yeah, a toony squidgy nose. So next of all, I'm going to go on to lining with the gums. So when it comes to lining the mouth, again, it is fleece. And I don't pattern the mouth, I kind of roughly go off by how wide I think it is and how back it is. And I sort of cut a square out, or a rectangle, whatever, out of the fleece and then lay it in and gluing that way. So obviously with the top one, because most muzzles curve upwards, you'll rough out how long it is and how wide it is, but you'll make it much longer. Because obviously you're gluing it up, which means it's going to take more room. So this bit's going to be sort of hard to film, but I'll cut a square out and then show you sort of what I mean. Square I've cut out and just placed in there, and I've made it a bit much the front of this time, but you know, I've got loads of fleece and it can't be helped, fleece is cheap. But I've moved it all to the back, and this will be all glued down, which I will show you in a minute. But first, I'm going to cut the top. So I've cut a piece out for the top again, and this time again I've done it too much. But I always find doing too much is better than doing too less, because, you know, then that little piece is wasted. These pieces I may be able to use again for a nose or something that's thin. So, what you do is you'd press it all down inside, and then it'll come to gluing. So I start with gluing the back, and I take the head off the base when it comes to this part, because I find it's easier to reach. But obviously I'll lift the mouth up, pull this back, put some glue down, and just glue the whole of it. It's sort of hard to explain and show, but you know, I'll film a little bit of me doing it, but sped up wise. So this piece is now done, the whole top layer, and it doesn't really matter if this bit is all, you know, rough and that, because it's all going to be covered by fur afterwards. You've just got to make sure the mane of the mouth is all nicely lined, which this is. And normally I would put the fleece a bit higher up here, but with this suit they're having a magnet here, a magnet in their cheek, so because their tongue's being magnetised, so the tongue's going to, you know, clip here and clip on the side of the side of the cheek for the long one. So I'll show you how to do that later as well, but you know, you'll get the gist of a normal tongue without the magnets and all. So I'm just going to carry on and do the bottom half. Now I'm going to come to the tongue, because I realised before I can line the bottom of it I had to do the magnet there, and I'm going to do the tongue with the magnet just so I put the magnet the right way and it does, you know, magnetise in, because I don't want to put the magnet the wrong way, and you know, so I'm just going to do the tongue first to make sure it does go the right way, and then I can line the mouth after. So I don't want to line the mouth, then realise it's the wrong way, then I have to peel it back. So for tongues, you get whatever colour, you know, fleece your tongue's going to be, and draw out your tongue. So this person's got a short tongue and a long tongue. So the short tongue would be, you know, the size of the mouth, and the long tongue would be dangling a bit, so it's got enough to go up here and around the cheek. So with the short tongue, I'm guessing, how long is it? Just about a hand length. So about here, about here for the short tongue. So then you just want to, you know, draw out how your tongue's going to look. And how wide you want it. Obviously, you do make it a little bit longer, because when it comes to sewing, it will shrink. So this is the tongue I've done, and obviously you'll sew down the line on the machine. So you only need to draw one side because you cut this bit and you flip it and then you sew it that way and it comes 2 tongues. So let me just trim that. Flip it and it'll be like that, and then when it comes to sewing you'll sew along this line, turn it inside out, then sew the line down and close it shut. And because this one is going to have a little magnet, before I sew it I'm gluing the magnet here, because when you flip it inside out that will be then inside, so that'll be for the tongue. So I've just got to make sure which way the magnet goes now. Next it comes to the sewing. So you've got your fit piece flipped over, you get your machine, and you can hand sew this, but I use machine. You start the line, put your foot pedal down, make sure nothing's going to stop the fleece from moving. My workspace is a bit of a mess and it does need a tidying. Put the needle down, get your foot pedal, and then gently sew around the edge of it. Then once you have sewn it, like I have here, you just gently cut all the excess off. Then that's cut off, you start flipping it inside out. So you get the end of it, turn it inside out. My machine was starting to be a bit of a dick on me today because it wasn't threading properly for some reason. Just get this all the way turned. Then once it's turned outside out, you sew a line down the middle, sew the end closed, and there'll be a tongue. So I'll show you to do that in a minute. You sew down the line. Obviously, if you've got a magnet in yours, make sure not to hit the magnet. So I know my magnet isn't there. Right there. That's how far I can go, so that's how far the line's going to be. Needle down, sew a line. Needle up, tongue out, cut the excess thread off. For some reason that side you can see the thread more. And I don't really matter when it comes to thread on the fleece, because I just think it gives that nice little, nice little effect. Then you go and sew the back of it up. Needle up, cut the thread, and then you have a tongue. So let me go put this in, magnet, and there's your tongue. Comes in, and find the magnet, it's in. There's your tongue. And then you can make the longer one next. So I've done the tongues now, and I even did the long one with the magnets. So here's the short one, and this one, because this is my first time doing magnets, I accidentally put the magnet the wrong way, so you can see it slightly, but it's not too bad. There's the magnet in there, it's in, and then the other one, I accidentally did the right way, magnet in the back, and this one I've done a special feature. So there's a magnet here. So it looks like he is licking his nose. Got that one. And then, if I turn it so you can see, I've done a magnet here. So it looks like he's licking his cheek. So, you can do as many magnets as you want. You can do one on the other side as well. But it's really up to you where you want to put it. So, clips on. And you need to have to fur him, and Max will be like normal. So there he is. Cute little, bleps and licks. So I'm now going to line the base, because I had to just make sure that all the magnets are the right way, and I didn't want to have to line it and peel it because it's the wrong way. So with magnets, I basically learned that whatever way the magnet connects this way, you flip it on the felt the way you've drawn it, so then when you turn it inside out, it flips and goes the right way. A little confusing. And then I make sure it goes the right way on the face. Just make sure your magnets go the right way, and before you cover them properly, do it first, because you don't want to do it wrong. So now I'm going to line the mouth and then show you how to make teeth. Now have the whole mouth lined. So I'm just going to stick a tongue in, It's in. You know, stick it up. There he goes. Take it off. Stick it there. Done. Take him out. Put the other one in. If I can find it. There it is. Ah. There you go. Tongue's in. Tongue's out. Done. Now I'm going to show you how to make teeth. With teeth, it's sort of the same with, you know, the tongues. You draw the shape, flip it, sew it. You do this, but this time you stuff it a little bit and glue the ends. So I only do 2 little bottom teeth. So, you know, you draw them a little bigger than you want because it will shrink. So, I can hold it there. And I always curve them slightly. So it'll be a little bit like that because that will shrink. And then, you know, flip it over, sew it. So let me just draw the other one in so I can cut this bit out. So draw them similar. I used to do a pattern, but I find with teeth I can pretty much make them the same. So then you sew these, and I'll show you what to get next to the next part. Once you've got the teeth sewn and flipped inside out, you only need a tiny bit of stuffing to stuff inside them. Once you have stuffed them, to close off the end, I put a little bit of glue around the rim and then glue that down until it's dry. And then when that bit is slightly dry, I glue a small amount along the other end. Hold this bit down and then gently flip that over, trying not to obviously burn yourself. So it just closes it off just right. And then you got it closed off. And then I'll show you how to put them in the mouth. So let me do the other teeth first. Then, once you've got them both off, grab your mask. Get the bottom jaw like you need. And sorry for the angle, this is the best I can get. Then, I've done my teeth with a slight curve. And so I do the curve pointing inwards, because that's what teeth do in a real animal. What I'll do, because there's a slight ditch in the mouth, I put a tiny bit of glue here. Then press it down like that against the mouth. And it'll be dry. You then get the other one, make sure it's the right way, put a tiny bit of glue, press it against the mouth, and dry. And they're normally pretty clear off, and then obviously the tongue will lay in between. So, if I show you what I mean, get the thing, put a small amount, you don't want it leaking everywhere, get where you want it, push it down and push it against the mouth. And I like to hold this one so it's properly dry so that it doesn't change shape. Because if it's not dry properly, it could leak somewhere. But normally, I find with this, it dries quite quickly. That one is in. Then for the other one, tiny amount so it doesn't leak everywhere. I've done that one. I have just done that one the wrong side. So if you do that one the wrong side, just try and get all the glue off as possible, but you know, you don't notice it. Luckily, because it's inside the mouth, you won't notice it so much, but I did that the wrong way. I need to glue it this side so I can glue it that way. So, let's try that again. The right side, tiny bit of glue. Find where you want it, and press it down. Wait till it's properly dry. And there you go, you got some teeth. You can do top teeth if you want, you know, how many teeth you want, but I tend to do just little bottom ones. Then, to see how it looks, put the tongue in, put the teeth around the tongue. So I push the tongue down. There you go. And then that can go up there, or it can just float on top, but I like to put it inside because it looks, you know, looks better. Try the other tongue, the shorter one, and this one just, you know, just sits there. And there's your tongue and teeth.